Audio is really important when it comes to digital media. I think over recent years, habits have changed in terms of how digital content is consumed, and there's almost an audio-first approach. Not that people aren't watching content that they used to watch, they're still watching it, but they might be paying less attention to the video than they are the sound, because they might be listening to the content rather than purely watching it. That has changed perhaps the onus that we should put on the audio quality of our videos. And if you're anything like me and hoard technology like a dragon would hoard treasure, then you might have a few options available to you, and how you piece together those options will actually change the audio quality of your videos. So in this video, I wanted to take a quick look at something that I've learned over the years that has made a significant difference to the audio quality of my videos that will hopefully help you. Now, in this scenario, I am assuming three things. One, that you're using a camera with a mic input. So if you're purely using a smartphone without a microphone, then this probably isn't for you. Two, that you have a lav mic or a separate mic of some kind, whether it's a shotgun or a lav, that you're connecting to that camera. And three is that you have access to a digital audio recorder. Now, in my case, I'm actually using a Tascam DR70D, which currently isn't connected to this camera, and I'm using the Nikon Z50 II. So assuming that we have those three parts available to us, let's discuss how they change the audio. What I'm currently using is my Sennheiser XSW-D wireless lav kit connected directly to my Nikon Z50. That means that the audio file is being baked into the video on the camera, so it's up to me to set the loudness, so the actual levels for the audio directly in the camera. You can't do this separately with the Sennheiser. Now, if you're using something like the Rode Wireless Go kit, you actually do have the ability to set some levels and limits on the actual Rode. That's not something that I can do with the Sennheiser kit. So I'm entirely reliant on the camera in this case. The audio quality is fine. I can keep an eye on the levels on my little monitor that's showing me that I'm sort of in the yellow area, which is close to the max but not too far. So hopefully when I'm playing this back, you're going to go, oh, okay, the audio is fine. But now let's shift how the setup is connected, and now let's put the DR70D in between the Nikon Z50 and the Sennheiser XSW-D kit. Fundamentally, I haven't actually changed much about my setup. I'm still using the Sennheiser XSW-D and its lav mics that's still connected up, but I now have the audio coming from the Sennheiser into my DR70D recorder, and then from there into the Nikon Z50 II. Now, the audio track is still being baked in to the video, so there's no syncing required, it's ready to go and ready to use. But we're no longer putting that reliance on the camera to sort out the audio directly from the Sennheiser kit. We actually have a little bit more control over levels. We have more control over the processing. However, there is a third option, and this is the one that I really want to recommend because I think it's the one that makes the most difference, which is rather than just relying on the audio directly from the camera, I am also recording the audio directly to the Tascam DR70D. Now, that might make you think, but that's adding more to my workflow. I'm now going to have to sync my audio. But the fact of the matter is the majority of editing software, video editing software, is actually going to allow you to automatically replace that audio track and sync it as long as you've recorded the audio into your camera as well. Now, you don't need to have the setup I have, which is recording to the Tascam recorder and then also recording in camera. You can just record the camera's standard mic input audio, so you don't even need to use a separate mic. You can just use the microphones attached to the camera to record the audio, because that's enough to give the editing software that you use to sync up the audio files and then just provide you with a single file that you can edit. Yet, in my case, I like to have both, because what I have this way is redundancy, because I've recorded a clean audio track from the Tascam directly, and I've also recorded the same audio track with the same microphone directly into the camera from the Tascam recorder. It gives you a sense of backup. Now,
Yes, you should be monitoring your audio all the time, and that should show you whether you're having issues, and you can see the levels. And on my Tascam, I even have red lights that come on when I know I've gone too loud, so I can turn things down. But I find audio is the thing where mistakes happen most. With video, you can tend to see if something is going horrendously wrong. If you've got the camera in manual mode and the video looks fine on your monitor, chances are it's going to look fine when you're editing it. With audio, unless you have someone that is monitoring every word you say and listening on headphones, you can't really tell. It's great practice to pop on headphones first to know whether it sounds good, but the second you take them off, maybe you nudge a cable that comes loose. Perhaps this cable isn't entirely locked down and comes loose. Anything can change that audio output. So by recording both at the same time, connecting both to the same output, you can actually have a bit of redundancy, which is super helpful. There have been quite a few cases where I have recorded videos that sounded fine when I started recording and have horrendous static because cables have come loose, and I've just gone to the recording from the Tascam recorder because that's a clean audio signal and I'm sure everything's connected up right. It gives me a little bit more of a chance. Now, mistakes can still happen. You could still run into a problem where that doesn't work, but in this case, most of the time you'll be fine. So you've heard all the different versions of what this can sound like, from directly into the camera through the Tascam recorder into the camera and directly from the Tascam recorder. And you don't have to buy Tascam, you could buy a Zoom recorder. There's many others out there, but this will just give you an idea of what is possible if you decide to go down this route. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully it helps you to improve the audio on your videos in the future. If you have any questions, pop them in the comment section below. I actually have a whole series of videos on how I make my YouTube videos that I made a number of years ago, which actually are linked above on this side, that you can check out if you want. Might help you learn some more. I'm hoping to do more of these again in the future, but I just thought I'd do this one briefly as it came up in a discussion with some other YouTubers I was speaking to. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you found the video useful. Give it a thumbs up if you haven't already, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future content. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.